I think we all can agree, at least most of us. As we get older, we try hard not to judge every new situation through the pain of our past. We try not to carry that damaged heart into every room, every relationship, every encounter. And for a lot of us who grew up in the inner city, that includes how we view the police. Not because every officer is bad, but because so many move the same way. And yeah, their lives are on the line too, but that's the job they signed up for. That don't excuse the tactics, especially the ones we watch play out in our communities for decades. On top of all that, it cut deeper when a person who doing the injustice look just like you. Wrong is wrong and right is right. Fam, today, we talking about an Atlanta rapper and his family who had not one but 2 officer-involved shootings that left 2 loved ones dead, both within a 6-year span. I mean, let that sink in. Most families never experience that once. This family went through it twice. When it comes to the first case, we'll later briefly talk about that officer who was indicted. He walked free after the charges was dismissed. As far as the second case, the one we're breaking down today, fam, the details that recently came out within the last 24 hours about the incident that took place in October made a whole community stop in their tracks. They're saying this man was shot 17 times, all in the back. And we all know, in most cases, and firearms like Rugers, that's empty in the clip. And knowing that,
it's so crazy because it's like I think I heard about it, but I don't think I really heard about this story though. This happened recently, but I don't really be watching the news, and usually it'll pop up on my like Instagram or TikTok or something, but it ain't pop up. But we finna see what's going on though, man.
Say once again, 17, fam. Today we're gonna walk through this story, break down the confirmed facts, shine light on both the victim and the system behind the shooter. Because at some point, fam, we gotta ask, was shooting a man 17 times in the back justified? Or is this another situation where a badge is being used to justify something that never was justifiable in the first place? But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. Fam, today, we're going to a place that's heavily rapped by artists like Future, Gucci Mane, Young Nudy, 21 Savage, and the late Young Scooter. Been together like one heartbeat. But long before the fame, long before the Platinum Plex and the world tours, some of these neighborhoods in Zone 6 had a name that the news gave them, a name that the streets echoed of how it really got. Zone 6 for the fame, long before the Platinum Plex and the world tours, some of these of how it really got. They call it Little Vietnam. And at the center of that nickname sits one of Atlanta's most infamous zones, with neighborhoods like East Lake Meadows, which was also the neighborhood of an Atlanta native, well known, some call him an OG, did his thing rapping, real name Litton Blackwell, and went by the rap stage name B Green.
Duct tape niggas in the building, man. B Green, my nigga Pesh.
Where you from?
I'm from East Lake Meadow, Little Vietnam to be exact. Zone 6.
As mentioned, he had his time rapping as well. You could catch him on tracks released 10 years ago, featuring Bankroll Fresh, May He Rest in Peace, and Trouble. And track's titled, You Ain't Street, a track that got over 13 million views and counting.
I keep a big bankroll.
Everything it's a gossip. The label is tied to Big Bang Black, one of the founders, also famous from the Big Fact podcast.
Oh damn, I thought
the
that
label
was
tied.
What's his name? The dude that got locked up what's his name? I can't think of his name right now.
One of the founders, also famous from the Big Fact podcast. A man who overcame every obstacle thrown his way. Alley Boy, an artist. He created an enforcer-type reputation.
Pee-wee. I thought that was Pee-wee Longway. That's who I thought it was. He was like Pee-wee Longway a little bit. When he was big, he was like Pee-wee Longway. Yeah.
The loud personality. Then he had Trouble, School, a real legend from Edgewood, who had the respect of both sides. They weren't a major label. They were brothers trying to make a way with music, not the other way around. Their brand was built on loyalty, being authentic, staying true to yourself and not going for nothing. DTE's reputation came from the guys around it, the Neighborhood Alliance, and their name popping up around real Atlanta conflicts, not internet beef. They earned the name Duct Tape because the idea was, we stick together, we silence opposition. That was the PG-13 version of what they used to say.
Take mafia shit, man. Up here with my nigga Trouble for the video shoot today. Kicking with the pretty lady Lala. Mob shit to the grave.
Who are you and what do you do?
First of all, I'm Valley Sosa, Duct Tape co-founder, artist and co-founder of Duct Tape Entertainment.
For sure. Record label.
You had a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
And
we did 3 deals.
You had 3 deals, but you had a solo artist deal first, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Correct me.
Yeah.
And it, Boo.
Yeah, Boo did it.
Boo did the deal.
Boo over at Def Jam, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was at Def Jam.
Yeah.
He signed you.
Mm-hmm.
And is that how Duct Tape was created then, or was that?
Hell no. Duct Tape were created 2004, 2005. Me and my partner Billy Sosa, we started a label. Just, because everybody else had labels. Gucci and them had So Icy and Jeezy them had, you know what I'm saying? So we like, shit, this the new way.
Yeah.
Started a record label. So we started a record label. Me and Sosa just fuck around. Neither one of us never rapped before. We were just trying. And then shouts out to Allie. Allie come home. Allie boy come home. He was always a rapper since a kid. So that's when we started taking it serious. I got two partners. I got a partner from the four-way named S. Dot and Westside Ricky, and we just, you know what I'm saying? Allie ended up being like a extraordinary.
We covered who we here talking about for this story, where he from, and the crew he allegedly ran with. Let's shift focus on his story. B. Green was a man who go out. He loved to go out to venues throughout the Atlanta area. He even once talked about being kicked out multiple times from a local strip club, but going back because he loved it there. So him being kicked out, it shows you he know how to handle himself and go home. And to be allowed to come back to the establishment is key. It shows he don't hold grudges, which is key to this video.
There's no definitely.
Now what about the nightlife? Favorite strip club in the city?
My favorite strip club, let me see.
There's a bunch of them.
It's so many of them. I might go to 3 or 4 of them in one night.
But what's your personal favorite?
We trying to see what's going on. You don't care about no damn strip club.
Late.
So now we know B. Green liked to go out. It was no different on October 12, 2025 at around 11:30 p.m. when B. Green decided to go to a venue named 5 Paces Inn, which is a local bar located on Irby Avenue in Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. Working at a nearby off-duty security job was Officer Gerald Walker, when the bar staff had called for help with what they described as a disruptive patron. Investigators said the individual identified as B. Green, 44 years old, attempted to re-enter the bar from the back parking lot on Canes Hill Place. According to investigators, they are alleging that B. Green walked to a vehicle, retrieved an item, and placed it in his waistband before Officer Walker issued commands about a gun and fired. But here's the thing. They said they found a firearm on the scene but didn't confirm whether it was B. Green's or not. That could have been his phone. And how was he a threat if he was shot in the back? Now, at first they were saying he was shot 14 times. But they didn't go into detail exactly why. But then 3 weeks would go by, the middle of November of 2025. And now they saying that the officer had emptied the clip on B. Green. Shot 17 times in the back.
Damn.
May he rest in peace. A love of condolences.
But you wanna know what it is though? Cause I've been in trouble with the police and shit. They be targeting you and shit. Like, they know who you is, and they feel like they have the opportunity to do, they can do whatever. Like, they gonna target you cause who you is. They do that shit. I don't know why they do it, but they will do that.
To his family.
And only on 11 Alive, family and friends of a Metro Atlanta man killed by an off-duty Atlanta police officer in Buckhead are demanding justice. 44-year-old Linton Blackwell was shot in a parking lot. Wants justice for his best friend.
In Metro Atlanta.
Preferably from, you got it on the shirt right here.
Green, but
East Lake Meadows,
who was off duty working a side job in Buckhead at 5 Paces Inn.
I just fell to my knees.
And you know what? Another thing too, the police just be thirsty as fuck to do something. If you look like a gangster, or you is a gangster, or you got your hood on, or you walking with your hood the other way, and you got your hand in your pocket, they'll do anything. Like, they don't care, twin. They be itching to do something. They be itching.
I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe that it was 17 times in the back. Like, all the shots. It's not one shot in.
Over to the DA to decide whether a grand jury will consider charges.
Coming to this family believing they'd get justice. It's slim to thin. You see, B. Green, his cousin Jimmy Hill lost his own son, Jimmy Atkinson, to an officer identified as Sung Kim, now retired, on January 22nd, 2019. But Jimmy wasn't armed. Although the officer was indicted, a federal judge dismissed the case. Not to mention, it took 4 years before the DA decided to indict the officer for murder.
Murder charges against Sung Kim, a former Atlanta police officer who shot and killed Jimmy Atchison back in 2019.
Judge Michael Brown ruled Atchison's death a, quote, textbook self-defense case that should not move forward. But Atchison's family says, Atchison's family, as well as the Georgia NAACP, are calling now on the Fulton County District Attorney to appeal. 11 Alive's Grace King is live outside of the DA's office tonight. So, Grace, you spoke with Atchison's father earlier today. What did he have to say?
Well, his father, Jimmy Hill, said he's hurt and angry that a federal judge dismissed the charges against former officer Sung Kim. He says that decision should have been left up to a jury like the one that originally indicted Kim back in 2022.
In 2019, Jimmy Hill lost his son, Jimmy Atchison, to gunfire.
He was at full of excitement, full of joy, full of laughter.
6 years later, he worries he'll lose his quest for justice, too.
He was robbed of life. This is a broken system, and it needs to be fixed.
A federal judge dismissed all charges against Sung Kim Tuesday, the veteran Atlanta police officer who shot and killed Atchison while executing a warrant with an FBI joint task force in 2019. The judge wrote the evidence for self-defense is so overwhelming, it's hard to understand how Georgia could have brought these charges in the first place, much less continued with them over the 2.5 years since. But Atchison's dad says his son was unarmed, hiding in a closet, and given conflicting commands.
I was in shock. I was hurt. I was angry. I was enraged. I was upset because you had all these different, you had the inconsistencies in the stories.
A Fulton County grand jury indicted Kim on felony murder and involuntary manslaughter charges in 2022, but the case was eventually moved to federal court.
And it's like they're being overlooked and locked out. Like it's like what they say didn't matter.
Hill hopes District Attorney Fonnie Willis will appeal this new ruling so his son's case can stay alive.
No, wrong is wrong no matter who.
See, and another thing, bro, they not finna convict these officers or one of their co-workers, because if you got criminal charges or already have charges on you, they, like I said, bro, they thirsty to do anything so they can be like, oh, he did this or he did that or he was trying to shoot me or he looked like he had a gun hit. They gonna do anything, bro. They don't care. Fannie Williams, bro, I don't think she gonna get the officer indicted for a murder charge because he shot his son. Like, she don't care. If you got charges like criminal charges, she definitely ain't gonna give a fuck. We black, bro. This it's fucked up. It's really it's real life fucked up. But this is how it be though. It's how it really be.
Who says it? And it is wrong anymore to seek to escape the consequences of one act.
Kim retired from APD in 2019, but I did speak with his attorney, Don Samuel, over email today. He told me it's hard to celebrate when a young man is dead, but that this show in the front.
To a conclusion, we do want to say rest in peace to Jimmy and rest.
Yeah, man, long live Jimmy or whatever his name was. I don't know him. But yeah, that shit was crazy, man. The police, they real life, they sick and nasty, bro. It gets like that.